We are a platform which is helping bridge the gap between the agents and landlords, helping bring transparency. We, at the heart of our system, is an accurate automated valuation model, helps you with your appraisals, and we give you detailed insights into all the properties in the country. And we have data on both on market and the off-market properties, and I'm going to show you how you can actually get instructions from property which are not even on the market yet in a bit. And yeah, so I think with that in mind, what Property Deals Insight or PDI gives you is you get everything in one place. As said, you want access to off-market data. Who do you go after? So we can help you with your prospecting needs. How can you get more leads? How can you get more incoming hot leads? That's something which we have a solution for. And then ultimately converting those leads into instructions. And I mentioned earlier on, everybody wants instructions, and some of the numbers which we looked at earlier, where we saw more than 50% stock remains unsold or not let, basically. So it's also quite important that we do complete those, and which is where we also have a solution for that. We help you with data which helps you with converting those instructions into sales. Ultimately, let's be honest, nobody gets paid if you don't actually manage to sell the stock. So that's kind of what our four-part solution is. How can we help you with all these aspects and without having to go for multiple systems? Okay, let's start with around your prospecting needs and how do you actually get access to the on-market prospects? How can you actually win those instructions? I mean, I guess with prospecting, it's a combination of whether you want to be looking for new vendors or you're actually looking at winning stock from your competition. I think what we see is industry-wide, the second instructions are 70% faster to convert and more likely to convert than the winning the first instruction. So what we have within our toolset is actually it gives you access to full property addresses and you can get access to motivated vendors who are struggling to sell their properties or let their properties if you're a letting agent. So it covers both. It's there's no different licensing for sales or lettings. It's a single thing, gives you access to everything. Unlike some of the softwares out in the market which charge you by postcode sector and every single thing which you want to do, they want to rip you off for that. We don't do that. It's completely unrestricted access to all of the UK market, and so that means you can even access regions which are outside your normal local areas, etc. What we've given is a number of advanced filters within toolset, and I'm going to show you this. I know it's a bit small what you're seeing here, but what this allows you to do is actually access the stock, for instance, things like which haven't sold in the 90 days, of vendors who've been let down, have been on the market for 90 to 60 days, or you can filter in on whatever when they're coming to the point of their anniversary dates, and actually have properties which have been reduced, let's say over 10%, etc. These are good times for you to be able to hit them, and if we can give you the full addresses of people which you should go after, that's a very high likelihood of your letters then getting read and responded to, rather than throwing letters left, right, and center and hoping someone will kind of get it. Because let's be honest, we all have been getting all these letters, and a lot of time they just end up in the bin, which you don't want to be doing, because you want to make sure you can get the best bang for your buck. So which is where we come in. Next one. Okay, so we talk about off-market prospecting. I think this is where it comes in. Rather than just being reliant on vendors which are already on the market or stock which is already on the market, you can get access to the whole of UK market, so over 28 million homes, and that allows you to actually win those instructions which you were never going to be invited to in the first place. And stealing a march on your competition. Ultimately, you want to go before everybody else does. So what this does is it basically allows you to look at, so this is a quite advanced filter. So because we have access to a lot of data, we bring it all together. We do all the heavy lifting. So this allows you to go and say, I'm actually looking for stock in the so-and-so area. And let's say, I don't know if you guys ever faced where you've got somebody looking for a property which you never had. So you're like, actually, I haven't got any stock, so we can't help you. I mean, it's the worst thing, basically, because one, people struggle to get more clients, and then when somebody's walked through the door or made an inquiry, you have to say no to them. I mean, we just wanted to build something which allows you to say, you never have to say no again. So what this does is it say, okay, fine, tell me what your requirements are, and we can help you find your next dream home. And or whether you've got a situation where somebody came in and they lost out on a certain property, because ultimately when the market is booming, we got 30, 40, 50 offers on a certain property, then obviously only one person is going to buy it. You've got 49 hot leads sitting there which lost out on that property. Now, you don't have to say, actually, you haven't got anything similar. We'll let you know when we next have. You can say, let me find the same sort of house for you, which means you may not convert all 49 of them, but if you can convert, let's say 10% of them, that is 5x revenue for you. So it's basically, the system gives you access to advanced filtering, which allows you to, with razor sharp precision, look for houses which are actually similar in characteristics. You can filter out by the pricing, by number of rooms, by energy efficiency, leasehold, freehold, and all sorts of filters in there which allow you to actually access the properties which match the descriptions or the details of your, and you can even look at when are they most likely to send. So there are some filters, and we can give you some data to help you with some of this as well. I'll show you this in a bit more detail at the end of the presentation, and also I'll let you guys have a crack at it to find some leads for yourself. Okay, so look, I mean, prospecting is one thing, and whether you're using our tool or any other tool, essentially, or whether you're using anything at all or not, because a lot of times the few things which we hear from agents, how they're getting leads is they come through Rightmove, Zoopla, the portals basically send them to them. So every time somebody fills a form, I'm looking to buy a certain property or in this area, or want to sell my house, etc., they send you the leads. But the challenge is the leads get sent to a number of parties, and then also nowadays they've started to do only the top 5 agents, etc. So you're always up against a massive competition, and these people may have a lot of systems in place. They might be breaking the bank to actually get all of this data. What we do is we basically give you like a single one-stop shop, which allows you to be able to respond to those inquiries instantly within seconds, rather than having to wait for a few hours before you go back to this incoming lead. And by then, the chances are they're going to say, actually, we've got three agents coming or 2 agents coming. We're not interested to talk to you. Because you were not in front of the PC or whatever. I mean, if depending on how big a company you are, if you're a small company, you may be actually on viewings, and you don't want those leads actually end up being lost simply because the rest of your staff couldn't respond. So what we've actually done is, and also the other aspect is, when you do send these letters out, then you may actually find that not many people come back to you. I mean, obviously, everybody is getting so much incoming stuff, so people find it spam and they end up in the bin. But if you are doing it in the right way, if you are doing it methodically, then you can actually start getting a lot more conversions for your letter sending, for instance. I mean, what we give is, we basically give a nice QR code which goes in along with your letters. So essentially, you can actually use the lead magnet to attract the lead. So the screenshot which you see is like an instant valuation button, which you can have on your website. So any visitors coming in who don't really want to be giving their details to you for free, so they want something in return, ultimately, you've been on sites where you see some form saying, I'll call you, and then you leave the site without actually filling in. You don't want that happening to you. I mean, ultimately, you spend a lot of time and money to bring those people onto the website, whether it's in the form of PPC, whether it's SEO, and whatever money you spend bringing those visitors on your website. You want to be converting them and give them something in return. So an instant valuation button is generally a very good and a tried and tested way of doing it, but it doesn't have to be limited for people coming onto the website. So if you stick in the QR code, which you can also generate on our platform, that is a personalized QR code for your lead magnet. So when you are sending out letters, when you're actually creating your brochures, or even on your shop, etc., or any other marketing material you can have that QR code. People walking across the road suddenly look at it and say, actually, let me see what my house is worth. How many times people actually pass you? So all these are leads walking around your office, walking around and seeing your brand, but they never talk to you, just because they think maybe they're busy, or they do it later, kind of thing, and then you end up losing it. So we wanted to give you something easy for your leads to be converting, and that's where this lead magnet comes in, which can be plugged into your websites easily. I think we've got Kami here, who's recently joined our platform. So we've actually even helped them with this. It's like a 5-minute setup, to be honest. Not if your vendor's trying to rip you off, which is where we kind of helped our clients. We don't want them to be paying hefty fees for anybody charging you for website management, etc. So it's like a no-code thing. It goes onto your website very, very easily and helps you capture the warm leads information, which kind of sends them well, the lead magnet can be branded to your colors and your slogan and whatever call to action you want it to be. So it's completely customizable and goes on your website and feels like a part of your website. So it doesn't even have to send. I mean, a lot of time people send on a third-party site. So we can give you that as well. However, it can also be embedded within your own website, which allows people to also look at other things which you may have on the site. So effectively, you don't want to be losing the lead going onto a third party and then not converting. So it's quite handy in that way. And now, very, very recently, if you're on our mailing list, you may have actually heard that we've actually released something really, really groundbreaking, which is instant alerts. So when you are sending people some reports, they open it, you get an instant alert telling you who it was who opened it, and actually allows you to ring them back at the time which is most appropriate for your conversions. Because I mean, let's be honest, we've all been sending stuff to people and hoping they convert, and then we're just waiting and we're waiting when to call them, when somebody will call, and you don't know whether they're interested. And sometimes you call a few times and then realize actually they never picked it. It may be because they were busy or whatever. So but this is now giving you instant alerts on when somebody's looking at it, how many times they viewed it and everything. So that means you know how much chance you have to convert them. And that is something really, really cool and can help you with your conversions. Okay, I think this is where it comes our prize asset. So all of this, which we've actually talked about, is ultimately about how do you make sure you can actually win those instructions. So yes, you now know who to target. You now know how do I actually get more leads, but that's not good enough if you can't convert them. And how do you actually wow the people who have started to chat to you? How do you ensure that they are in awe of your brand, and you don't have to be breaking the bank for it? You don't want to be having to spend hours and hours trying to put all of this together, which is where our revolutionary appraisals, as our clients like to call it, come in, which can help you convert these sellers and even buyers actually. So we have in-depth property appraisal reports which have all the comparison information. You've got EPC information, price per meter square for any property, looks at the land reg information, on market data, off market data, EPC, and even cash flow information for buyers. So essentially, it allows you to customize these reports, which will be all branded to your colors, and we help you set it up. It's like, again, a 5-minute setup for if you wanted to do it yourself. But if you do need any help, then we are always there to help you get that configured. And you can actually generate a valuation appraisal in a few seconds. And I'm not exaggerating it when I say that. So you can get those appraisals all professionally done and be sent over to your clients if you wanted to within a few seconds. However, a lot of agents want to actually first talk to their clients and then share their price asset ultimately, because let's be honest, you guys are all the market authority in your local region, and you want to be seen like that. So you don't want to give away too much information too soon. Again, different people operate differently. Some like to send it straight away. Others actually say, we're going to chat to you and want to be actually able to share it. So when we go to the vendor, say, hey, when you are being invited for the appraisals, in-house appraisals, then you can actually show these nice looking flashy reports on your tablet, mobile, or however you want to do it. You can even print them off as PDFs and send it as interactive links as well, so the clients can actually see it. And you do get report opening alerts to connect them when it really matters. Right. How do we do all of this magic? So ultimately, by bringing all of this information together from all the trusted data sources in one place, so you don't have to be pulling it off, and all our reports would have these trusted data sources in there. So that means you don't have to be explaining yourself. This is all coming from a national website, which is us, but then we are getting this data. There's no dodgy stuff happening here. We compile it from all the trusted data sources, be it the likes of Land Registry, Minister of Housing, EPC Register, High House Price Indices, Ofsted, Ofcom, and you name it, we've got it covered. So basically, we are integrated to everything. And I think the last part of this is ultimately, how do you make sure you are getting paid quicker? I mean, a lot of times you have listings on an average. The properties are staying in the market for over 60 days currently, and actually in a lot of cases much longer. And you may have seen, and depending on whatever the market you are in, that somebody who walks in through the door on day one actually likes a property and is possibly okay to pay what which you possibly should be accepting, but you still don't get the transaction done because everybody's like, okay, I'm going to come back to you. I mean, I like it, but I need to do my analysis. So what we have is within your reports, which you can generate using the platform, you are able to actually say, I want to generate a seller side report, I want to generate the buyer related information, and in general, overall in the UK, over 2/3 of the properties are second homes or buy-to-let investments, which means there's a massive market out there where they're looking at the numbers and they need to do the analysis. And when they like your property, the last thing you want is them to say, okay, they're going to spend a lot of time doing the analysis, which means a lot of times they just don't even come back to you. So you may end up accepting a lower offer or no offer at all, which we wanted to reduce. So effectively, we've built the ability for you to share the buyer side information with the buyers, so they can look at the analysis straight away. They don't need to be digging around themselves, and they can make that decision much quicker, which means you actually get paid very quickly. That means you can actually focus your attention to the next sale, and that means you do more business. So effectively, that allows you to stand out. And ultimately, when people are looking at which agent is performing better, which agent is getting their property sold quicker, that's how you increase your market share, by giving them the service which nobody else can. And I think there's a lot of people will claim that they give you a magic wand. I mean, it's not like that. It's ultimately doing it the right way, combining all of the things and actioning at all the way, whether it's about going after the right clients in the first instance using the right prospecting tools, making sure you can get more leads and converting more leads. How can you win those instructions? And when you won it, make sure they count. You don't want to be in that less than 50% unsold stock. You want to make sure you are the stock or the agent which sells the stock, and that's kind of what stands you out. Well, I mean, I think don't just take my word for it, because we're going to say what we're going to say. But I mean, we have been receiving a lot of rave reviews in the industry from some of the top publications and industry experts. And yeah, I mean, I think I would suggest you give it a go and try it out. Well, while I'm on this slide, I was going to show the demo, but while I'm on this slide, I think a lot of people saying this is too good to be true. How much does it cost? And I think it's much less than what you expect. We are very flexible in our pricing structure. There are like 3 plans, which you got basic, gold, and premium, and essentially you can be basically going after with the plan which works for you. If you're going yearly, then there is a 2 months free, so you get paid for the price. Well, get 12 for the price of 10. Thank God I got it right. I always say the other way around. And basically, it's no longer any restriction to any postcode. So you don't have to be paying for one postcode, then the other one, and then you want to expand, and they actually charge you more. We don't try and rip you off. And some of our customers, the easiest way to describe all of this, and would have saved me all the talking, would have been, you just got to say it's Sprift plus Home Search plus Spectre plus Valpal all in one plus more. And there are a lot of other tools which we have on the platform which are useful, but I don't want to be boring you with so too much to confuse you. And you don't need to be training your staff because the last thing you want is you have a Mickey Mouse lead magnet which basically gives you something, and then you have to, first thing you do when you call them and say, actually ignore the valuation which the tool showed you, because that's wrong. I'm going to tell you what the right valuation is. I mean, if I'm your client, I'm thinking these guys haven't got a clue what they're doing. I don't want to be doing business with them. So you don't want to be starting from the position of already at the back foot. You want to be straight up and saying, fine, we've given you all this information, and here's the reason why. So it gives you all the comps instantly, so you don't have to be going around digging for all of that information and looking for what it is. What we do is basically we also give you a free trial, so we don't need to. It's all out there. We don't need to be stopping you from being able to even start your trial, etc. So you can actually straight away go and sign up. I mean, the code on the screen, the QR code. I'm not sure if you guys are having your smartphones handy. If you want to be scanning that QR code now, so you can get an exclusive 20% discount just because you guys spent this 1 hour coming on the webinar for us as an opening webinar. So feel free to actually scan this and get that 20% discount. Actually, before I go to the platform itself, I just wanted to pause a little bit and open up the floor for any questions you may have, and then we'll try and target that in a way, because we don't have too many people, which is, in a way, it's a good thing. So we can try and actually be a bit more personal approach rather than just us showing what we want to show. It would be more like if you guys want to actually cover a certain part of the tool more than anything, or if you have any questions on pricing or features. So I think you're all on mute, so feel free to unmute yourself.
Yes, Nitin, the pricing structure that you showed.
Oh, sorry, I lost you actually. I don't know if it's just me or and others can hear Max.
Yeah, Nitin, the pricing structure that you showed, I was a little bit confused. You've got a monthly amount and then you've got a yearly. What do they relate to in terms
Sure.
of?
Okay, so we do 3 types of plans, and they're called basic, gold, and premium. They are usage based, so you get like 80 credits. So we have like a credit system within the platform, and you get 50 credits with the basic plan, and you get 150 in the gold plan, and you have unlimited credits in the premium plan. And then basically the basic covers you get a number of features, but the ones which we showed here, you get the reports and the lead magnet feature here, and you get the instant alerts with them. What you don't get with basic is the prospecting at bulk. So if you wanted to get 100 leads or 1,000 leads instantly, basically get the full addresses of vendors. So that is included in our gold and premium plans. And currently there's no restrictions on postcodes, so effectively you can actually use either gold or premium depending on your volumes and usage.